So our class this morning is all about posture. So it's all those poses that open the front of the body, strengthen the back of the body. We all get very slumped over things these days. So it strengthens the back of the body, releases through the front, also brings a little bit of awareness to the core, but not too much this morning. So a few props that might be useful. We're going to start with a nice opening of the chest. So a rolled blanket or something to lie along will be useful. You can use blocks for that as well, one under the head, one under the shoulder blades, but it's a bit more uncomfortable. We will use blocks if you have them for a supported bridge, but you can always refold your towel for that. And a strap if you have one for opening the shoulders. You can just use a belt for that if you don't have one. Okay, so set your blanket up so it's a rolled up sausage that you can lie along. And then if you're using the playlist, you can pop that on. And once you've done that, make your way down onto the blanket or your blocks if you're using them. Anything that allows you just to open up through the front body. So you lie your spine along the blanket, make sure the head is supported. Legs can be whatever feels comfortable to you. I quite like knees falling in together. You can take sort of cross-legged or butterfly pose, or you can lengthen out long. When you're there, just let the arms fall away. As you land into this pose, the shoulder blades drop around that support. We create an opening through the front of the body. There's nothing really to be done here in this opening pose, but to land and to settle on your mat for your practice. If you are gripping through your shoulders or your chest, just allow the shoulder blades to drop back, the heads of the shoulders to drop back. Just take a few breaths here, being aware of the breath as it enters and leaves the body. Be aware of the space that you are gradually creating in the front of the body. That sense of opening and expansion. And send your breath there. So as you breathe in, allow the front body to expand. Keep softening through the back body. Heavy head, heavy shoulders. I'm just taking a few more rounds of breath here. And then from there, you can just roll off to one side so that you can remove your blanket. Lie yourself back down on the mat. Allow the spine just to settle. And then draw the knees into the chest. Give them a squeeze, keep the knees together. And then place the feet down on the floor. We're going to take a bridge pose, but with a little hold at the top. So a chance to strengthen through the back body, open through the front. Bring the hands down by the sides. Feet hip width apart, nice and close to the hips. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press down into the feet, lift the hips up. Find that sort of diagonal pose, sending tailbone towards the calves. Keep pressing into the shoulders, the feet. If you can find a sense of opening through the chest, maybe lift the chin a little. One more breath. And then lower yourself down nice and slowly. We'll take that bridge pose just once more. So reset and then the feet if you need to. Take a breath in. Again, on the exhale, drive the hips up. And you're switching on through the back of the body. Open through the chest, through the front as much as you can. Maybe squeeze the hips a little bit higher. Stay here for a few breaths. And then lower yourself all the way back down. If you have blocks, grab a block. If you're still using your rolled blanket, you can take that, maybe double it up. We're just taking a supported bridge pose, so lifting the hips back up, place that block or rolled and folded blanket just under the sacrum. So it doesn't have to be too high, just elevating the hips a little bit. All right, and from that supported bridge pose position, draw the right knee in towards the body. Now this may feel a little bit more awkward than it would do with hips flat on the floor. So just hold that knee where you can. If the knee doesn't feel very accessible, you can always hold around the back of the thigh. And then with a hold of that knee, send the left leg out long. So with the raised hips, you'll feel that that left hip flexor is getting a little bit more opening than it would do normally. If this pinches your low back, keep that left leg bent. Breathing here. And then slide that left foot back in. If it was extended, drop the right leg back down. Take it on the other side, hug the left knee in. When you're there, have a go at extending the right leg long. Let it be heavy. Little sense of lengthening the tailbone if you're feeling any pinching through the low back, or you can always bend the right knee back in. 2 more breaths here. Release that leg. Reset your bridge position just so you can lift the hips, remove your support, lower yourself back down. From there, bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop open, reclined butterfly. You may just need to lift and lower the tailbone as you drop into it. Then take the arms either side of the head, cactus arms. Feel the whole back of the body connecting with the earth. Just a few breaths here, so soften through the hips as much as you can. Let the knees fall out and away. One more big expansive breath into the front of the body. And then draw the knees back together. Hug the knees into the chest. And then holding around the back of the legs, take that rock and roll to a seat. Or you can come to a side, but find your way up into that easy seated position. I'm showing you from the side because we're going to do a camel puff of the chest. But just rest the hands on the knees as you arrive. Drop the chin down to the chest. As you drop the chin down, sort of feel the shoulders drawing back, sliding down the back of the body. So lengthening out a little bit through the neck. Finding that nice lifted spine, just the head dropping. Yeah, and then lift the head back up. Take the hands behind the back. Tented fingers, if you need that lift, you may find that flat hands is sufficient, but you want to be able to lift the chest up. So when you have that connection with the mat, draw the shoulder heads back, feel like you're lifting the heart up and away from the body. Head gaze can stay forward, or you can drop the head back if that feels comfortable in the neck. Just don't find any strain there. Breathe into the front of the body. Lovely. Come back through center, bring the hands over, tip yourself over the legs, set up your tabletop position. Cat and cow, but think about leading with the heart. So as you inhale, the belly drops, the heart draws through between the upper arms, lift your gaze. And then exhale, rolling through, tucking heart up into the chest and rounding through the spine. Take a few more with your breath, inhaling as you lift the heart. Exhaling as you roll it away. A couple more. Come back to your neutral spine. Move your left hand slightly in towards center, right fingertips behind the ear. Take the inhale to open and your exhale to tap right elbow to left arm. And take 3 more. This can be nice and slow and steady with your breath. Think about drawing that right shoulder and elbow back. Use strength in the back body to find a twist. You can lift it once more on your inhale. Reset back through your tabletop, taking the other side. Left fingertips behind the ear. Use the inhale to open. Exhale to tap. You have 3 more to gradually find a little bit more movement each time. Last one. From there, come back to your tabletop. Walk your hands towards the top corners of your mat. Keep a little bit of engagement through the core, so rather than just sagging through the low back, keep the core a little bit engaged, send the hips back, and then bring forehead or chin to the mat, puppy dog pose. The less we take the bend into the lower back, the more you should feel a nice opening through the chest, stretching into the underarms. If it's too tight, just take the hands a little bit wider or soften through the elbows. Lovely. From there, lift up nice and slowly. Hands may need to walk in a little bit, then tuck the toes, find your downward dog. Pedal this one out. A few breaths. All right, from here we're coming forward into a high plank. We're holding this one for about 10 breaths. So don't force it. If you need to drop the knees down, you can. but try and keep that weight forward over the hands so that the core is having to switch on, front of the body is switching on. Keep lengthening down through the tailbone, head in line with spine. Four or five more breaths. Last full breath on my mat. Well done. Drop the knees if they're not already. Lower yourself all the way down. We're taking a cobra pose, but holding it at the top. So use your hands for support, but don't lift too high. Let the back body do the work. So taking an inhale, lift the chest, draw the heart through. The hands are there, but we're not completely relying on them. They're a little bit of support. Keep squeezing shoulder blades back, broaden across the chest. And lower yourself down. Taking one more, use your next inhale to lift. And smooth out your breath there. Keep engaging through the back body. Lovely, lower it back down. Final one, you can stay with a cobra, or if you want to take a locust or a bound locust, whatever feels most comfortable through your body, you can take it. Use your inhale to lift. If you're in locust pose, the legs come up as well. Find one more area of the back body that you can just involve in this pose to find a little bit more lift, whether it's chest or legs. And then lower down. Place hands underneath shoulders, push yourself back, widen the knees as you go, hips to heels for a child's pose. Find some length through the spine, breathe deeply into the whole body, feel expansion of the belly, but also expansion through the back. After your next full breath, lift through your tabletop, reset the knees, tuck the toes, lift into your downward dog. Find a little bit more core engagement in this downward dog, even if that means the knees are more bent. Draw in the low belly. Think about low ribs drawing towards your hip points. Feel like we're getting a lift of the tailbone, but still not too much of an arch through the back. And take one more breath here. And then look towards your hands, take lots of little steps in towards the top of the mat. Stay as soft as you need to through the knees. Forward fold. And then we're rolling up to find our mountain pose, our Tadasana. So leave the head and the shoulders hanging, press down into the feet, start to lift, draw low belly in. Begin stacking the spine all the way up. As you find your mountain pose, loop the shoulders back, send middle fingers down towards the earth, but focus on this central part of the body, our core. So lengthen the tailbone, draw belly button back towards the spine. Keep that awareness as you root through the feet, draw energy up through the legs, lift through the crown of the head. That's it, standing as tall and as straight as you can. So neutral spine. From there, keep feet hip width apart. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Keep that awareness through that part of the body as you sink back into chair pose. Try not to arch through the back. Keep tailbone long, belly drawn in. Lift back up. Take hands interlink the fingers, take hands behind the head, draw the elbows open. As you land there, notice if your lower back has gone bendy, draw low ribs towards hip points, lengthen the tailbone, find that original starting position, and then lean back, head into the hands. It may only be small. So although we're back bending, we're still keeping that awareness through the core. Good. Come back up. Take an inhale, reach the hands up high. Exhale back into your chair pose. Draw belly in, keep the tailbone long. From there, cactus the arms down by the sides of the head. And then take little pulses like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. So we still keep the tailbone long. We're just working that space between the shoulder blades to draw the arms back. 3 more. 2, 1. From there, bend forward over the legs, drop the hands down, lift the sit bones, find your forward fold. Lovely. Take a halfway lift, long spine. Fold it back down. Bend into the knees, inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms wide. Think about that engagement through the core as you sink back into your chair pose. Just once more through those cactus arms. Keep the tailbone long, draw the arms down by the sides of the body. Find that sort of level position and then pulse to squeeze arms back in space, engaging between the shoulder blades. Lovely. 3 more. And then fold yourself down. Let the head hang, take a couple of breaths here. All right. Inhale, halfway lift, draw those shoulders down the back, find a long spine, fold it back down. Inhale, root to rise. Bring hands to heart center. Okay, from there, find your strap. If you haven't got a strap, I'll give you an alternative when we get there. But if you have a strap, have it in the hands. We're going to be doing those shoulder flosses. So you want something that's long enough to give you quite a good length on the strap. If you're not using a strap, when we get to our crescent lunge, just loop thumbs together and take the arms overhead, just drawing them back as far as you can, but it won't be quite the same movement as with a strap. All right, with your strap, step your right foot back. It's like we're lifting into a crescent lunge. So find your feet first of all, make sure you're standing on train tracks. Fire up that back leg, keep it nice and strong. Lift the arms overhead. I loop the strap so you've got a little bit of resistance, but you can sort of stretch through the fingers. Once you're here, we're taking those shoulder flosses. So this is for the shoulders, for the upper body. It doesn't have to come too far forward, just back overhead. This is the important bit, the opening through the chest. But we're making the legs work for us as well while we stay here. So 4 or 5 movements with the strap. That's it. Next time you come back up, leave the arms overhead, turn to open to the side of your mat, turn the toes out, take an inhale, take a squat with the legs as you exhale, arms stay up. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, squat it down. This time as you squat, take a side bend to the right or either side, doesn't really matter. Back through center, over the other way. Lift back to center, come up. Take the hands behind the back. Doesn't matter what your strap does, you're just finding a fist here. Spin your toes in front of the heels. So the outer edges of the feet with the straight edge of the mat. Take an inhale, puff your chest. And as you exhale, hinge forward. Let the hands lift up and away from the back body. Drop the crown of the head down. Keep squeezing shoulder blades together. Lift the shoulders away from the ears as much as you can. Keep dropping into that forward fold. Lifting back up. When you reach the top, turn around to face the other way on your mat. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, that's right, left leg's back. Couldn't find where we were. So you're back in your lunge the other way. So your right leg is forward, your left leg is back. Fire up the legs, find that connection, come back to your strap and move into those shoulder flosses. If you're finding more space in the shoulders as you go, wind the hands in a little bit more. And take one more. Next time you arrive to center, turn yourself back to face the long edge of the mat. Keep the toes pointing out. That's it, arms up overhead. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, squat down. Keep the tailbone long. Draw those knees open. Extend out through the hands. Use that strap to let you open through the chest. Maybe take the hands slightly further back if you want more opening through the chest. That's it. Lift out of it. Take it back down as you exhale. Hips nice and level, knees drawn open. Sway it out side to side. Take it at your own speed. Lovely. Come back to center. Lift yourself up, hands behind the back of the body. Just loop the hands. Take an inhale, puff the chest. And then hinge forward. Lift hands away from the back body. There, just bring the hands back to rest on the back of the body so that you can unloop the hands, release the strap and bring yourself fully down into a forward fold. So strap can be let go and put to the side. From there, come up to a halfway lift. Walk back round to the top of your mat. Step it back into high plank. Bring the weight forward. Hold in this high plank, few breaths. Draw in the core, lengthen through the tailbone. Two more breaths. Drop the knees, lower the chest all the way down. All right, we're taking a hands-free cobra flow for the back of the body rather. So bring the hands to the sides of the head, spread the fingers, elbows out wide to the side. Keep this position. Use your inhale to lift the chest. Press hip points, pubic bone down into the mat as you lift. And then lower it back down. Inhale to lift. And lower. 3 more. Keep squeezing shoulder blades together, keeping the chest open as you lift and as you lower. 1 more. Come all the way down, release the hands, forehead to the mat. And then from here, we're taking those openings through the shoulders. So extend your right arm out to the side, level with the shoulder or slightly higher is usually about right. If you're very open in the shoulders, you can cactus the arms, but that's quite an intense opening. So go steady if you take that option. From there, you're going to use this left hand to push, roll yourself onto your right hand side. Let the head drop down or place it on a block for support. Your top leg, your left leg can just bend behind you. You're rolling onto that right shoulder. When you find enough of a sensation, stop there. If you want a little bit more opening through the chest, let this left arm come back behind the body. Breathing here. Release that bound arm if you had it. Roll yourself nice and slowly back through center. Bring that right arm in, setting up for the other side. Left arm extends out. When you're there, start to slowly roll onto the left-hand side of the body. Release the head down to the mat. Use this top leg, your right leg, to form a support. It may feel enough, or you may want to take the right hand behind the back of the body. Breathing there. Lovely, couple more breaths. And bring yourself slowly back through center. Release the bound arm, roll yourself back. Come back down to center. From there, take the hands back behind the body. Locust pose or bound locust. If you find that clenching the fists together can help send the arms away, use your inhale to lift legs and chest. Engage every bit of the back body to assist. Keep the chin dropping so that the head is in line, not crunching through the neck. Reach back as far as you can towards the heels. One more breath. Lower yourself back down. Place hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself back. Find your downward dog. Again, we're just going to hold this one. So plant and root through your palms, the balls of your feet. Heels lifted or soft knees is fine. But draw the low belly in. Connect low ribs to hip points. Soften through the shoulders. Feel that opening through the chest. Connect your breath here. We are taking a child's pose after, so if you need to come out of your downward dog sooner, just go straight to your child's pose. If you're there, you're feeling okay, we're going to stay for about 6 more breaths. Final 2. And then when you're ready to drop the knees down to the mat, take them wider, sink hips towards the heels, child's pose. From there, lift yourself up towards all fours and then come back onto the knees for your camel pose. If you want to pad under the knees, you can do. I always prefer to have toes tucked for this one. We're going to take just a regular camel first, and then we're going to, if it feels okay in your body, take a more flowing camel. So from here, hands into the small of the back, fingers pointing down, unless you prefer to have fingers pointing up, which opens the chest more, but presses down more into the low back. So take either option. Wherever you are, draw the elbows back. Then start to lift through the heart. Keep the hips dropping forwards. Squeeze the elbows back and just extend back. So you're lifting the heart. If it starts to pinch in the low back, send that tailbone down as much as you can. Gaze can stay forward or it can drop back. Few breaths here. Be nice and slowly lift yourself back up. Release the hands, give them a little shake. You can always sit back if it feels okay on the knees, or drop to all fours. We'll take it once more. So come back up to your camel. If you prefer to take camel pose again, you can. Otherwise, if it feels that it's within reach to find your right heel with the right hand, you sweep the left arm up. So take like a half camel. And then from there, you come back round, release the heel, find your other side and reach. You can take this at any speed that feels right for you. Widen the knees a little if you're feeling a pinching through the kneecaps. Shouldn't be a strain on the low back. It should be an opening through the chest. So keep flowing or stay with your camel pose. Yeah. Couple more if you're moving. And then if you are in your camel, just release and to lift. If you're flowing, come back to center, drop hands down to the mat. That's it. From here, send your left leg back. Engage the core, reach your right arm forward. You have a choice to stay in this balance, engaging that central strength, or you can reach behind, clasp your foot, push foot into hand, and find more of a chest and shoulder opening. Release the foot if you have it. Return back to all fours. Sway the hips out, take a few movements, and then take your second side. Right leg back, left arm forward. You can stay here, find balance, core strength, or reach behind for your right foot. Push foot into hand, open that left shoulder. Release the foot if you have it. Come back to all fours. Lead with the heart through a couple of final cat and cows. Breathing in, heart comes through between the upper arms. Breathing out, it rolls up into back body. Open through the spine. One or two more. From there, bring the feet through underneath, spin yourself around. Ready for landing back on the mat. Lift the heart, take an inhale. Roll yourself down as you exhale. Take a full body stretch as you arrive. Point the toes, reach hands over the head, find length. And then bring yourself back to center, step the feet in. You can take these as regular bridges if you want, or you can work from a supported bridge. So if you're taking a supported bridge, find your prop to place underneath the sacrum. If you want a more restorative end to your practice, you can just stay here. You can take several breaths in supported bridge. If you want a little bit more strength through the back body, take an inhale. Exhale to press down, lift the hips off that support. Inhale, come back down. And exhale to lift back up. So they're just much smaller movements than we would have done all the way up and down. You can stay with a few of these with your breath, or you are free to remain in supported bridge. If you're moving, next time you land back in your bridge, stay there. Full weight of the hips dropping into that support. From there, everybody lifting hips off their support so you can move it out to the side. Lower yourself slowly back down to the mat. Take the arms to cactus either side of the head, widen the feet a little bit. Take an inhale. As you exhale, drop the knees to the right hand side. And turn your gaze to the left. Find stillness there for a few breaths. On your next inhale, knees and gaze back towards center. And then take them the opposite way. Roll back to center. Take any final movements, whether that's a hug of the knees, a happy baby, or a stretch. And then make your way into Shavasana. If you want to use any of your supports, you can take that. Or just land in a final position that works for you. A few minutes of stillness, rest, taking Shavasana. As you take your next few breaths, keep the body still. Bring your awareness back. Begin to deepen the breath. You can then bring some small movements back into the fingers, and small movements back into the toes. And allow that movement to spread throughout your body, gradually reawakening. And when you feel ready to make your way back to a seated position, and take time. And as you land there, settle the hands on the knees. Feel that sense of gentle support through the back body, that lifting, drawing the shoulder blades back, broadening across the chest, softening through shoulders and jaw. And then from here we close our practice together, taking a final breath in to reach the arms above the head. Breathing out as palms touch. We take thumbs to forehead for kind thoughts, to the lips for kind words, and to the heart for kind actions. Thank you for joining me this morning. Namaste.